what it was. Y'all know who it is. And y'all tuned in with. And this right here, this ain't nothing but some cosmic insight. And say, man, I hope all y'all feeling well and vibing. Cause guess what? I got a question to ask you. Have any of y'all seen that movie back in the 90s with Russell Crowe starring it called A Beautiful Mind? I haven't either. But that right there is a beautiful analogy for this placement right here. Because this right here, this is a little something about those people that have Mercury in the 7th house of their natal chart. Yeah. And see, before I actually go there, if you don't know my style, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to tell y'all a little bit about Mercury. I'm going to give y'all a quick breakdown of the energy that comes along with it and how it might affect you. Then after that, I'm going to give y'all a quick breakdown of what the 7th house of the astrological chart is actually all about. And then after that, we're going to bring it to a culmination, which fortunately for you, that's what I do best. So without wasting any more time, let's get it cracking. So Mercury is named after the winged messenger of the gods, and it most definitely comes into our chart and commands us to speak. And that's because it rules over communication, intellect, intelligence, logic, reasoning, our attitude, as well as our ability to create and express our thought processes. And when somebody refers to something as having a mercurial nature, the first thing that comes to mind for me is restlessness and motion. And that's because things happen fast with Mercury. And that's why it's also about quick wit, quick thinking, possibilities, opinions, reasoning, and our ability to rationalize shit. Yeah, it can be both good and bad, but either way it goes, it's going to be energizing regardless. And this planet right here, it prompts us to move on from one thing to the next and find answers on both the physical and a psychological level. And, it's dexterous and perceptive energy, and it rules over short trips and siblings, transportation in general, pretty much all the way around, speaking, writing, books, online communication, and learning too. All that comes within Mercury's domain. And also understand that Mercury is never going to be more than 28 degrees away from the sun. And it only takes 88 days to go through its whole orbit. And it rules over the 3rd and the 6th house of the zodiac chart, as well as the signs of Gemini and Virgo. And it's neither feminine or masculine energetically. It kind of assumes the gender of whatever sign that it's in. And the Mercury sign in our chart, it points to our basic attitude, our mental habits, our communication style. And now the house placement, that shows what area of life that plays out in the most. Okay. And so when we talking about the 7th house, the 7th house is one of the angular houses of the 1st, the 4th, the 7th, and the 10th. And this one right here is ruled by Venus and Libra. And, the 7th is commonly referred to as the house of partnerships or relationships, because it's with this house that we see a shift away from ourselves towards another. And by cooperating with and, relating to another, we unite for the purpose of, achieving something, which that's pretty much what this is all about. Because the 7th house, it shows us that partnerships take on many forms, not just marriages, because it can be also about business partnerships, best friends, business negotiations, contracts, agreements. And the 7th also shows our relationship to the public or our open enemies. Okay. That can be the thing with the 7th too. And it's here that, we answer questions like, why do we choose particular relationships that we choose? Is it for business? Is it for love? Is it for money? Is it for practical considerations? Is it for social considerations? There's a lot of reasons that people unite for another person. But most of the time, it's to fill a void within ourselves. And what I mean by that is, the planets and the energies that show up on the cusp for the 7th house, or the planets that are placed in the 7th house, this represents energies within ourselves that we don't really see. It's there, but we don't see it. We don't identify with it. So what do? We search for it in other people. And if we can't find it, we'll even resort to projecting it onto them. Okay. So that's the interesting thing about this house, man. And this one right here, it shows the quality of our relationships. They really color a lot to do with our life, and they can either greatly enhance the quality of our lives or they can bring down our quality of life. But, either way, there's major lessons to be learned either way. Pardon me. And so that's kind of how it goes with that. Now, like I said, this is cardinal here. When we talk about putting Mercury in the 7th house, a beautiful mind. Because, before we get into relationships and the power of communication and all that sweet shit that we most definitely gonna get into, best believe it, man. You got to remember first that the 7th is ruled by Venus and Libra. So besides all that, what this tells me more than anything else is that this gives a person a refined mind and a really logical way of thinking. Okay. These are sophisticated individuals who typically have a rather charming and graceful manner of speaking, which that right there also helps bless them with excellent diplomatic skills too. So yeah, with them, finesse is the best. Yeah. And is what they do best. And, a 7th house Mercury, it indicates that, these people right here, they actually learn best by communicating and bouncing topics off somebody else. Now, how they really learn, how they study the best, that has a lot to do with the Mercury sign too. But, this says that they will definitely get a lot of help by, being able to talk to people and bounce ideas off of them and have somebody to work with from a mental standpoint. But sometimes it ain't even necessary to have somebody else for them. Okay. Cause I've seen also that sometimes if they can just formulate a question and ask it out loud to themselves, they'll find the answer that they're looking for. Okay. So that's a little news you can use and a little trick. Okay. Now, more than anything else, I also want to say when I see this Mercury right here, it tells me that, this is a person who absolutely loves the company of really smart people. And unless the rest of the charts, boldly saying otherwise, this is somebody who's more of an extrovert than an introvert because they want to deal with people. They need interaction with others every day. There's a need to connect and relate with people. So of course, this means that more often than not, they end up developing really awesome people skills or social skills, whichever one you want to call it. And, that probably opens up a lot of doors for them in this life. Okay. Cause this right here, I'm also going to say that Mercury in the 7th, it puts a lot of emphasis on the importance of connections, y'all. And a lot of times those connections in your life pay off big time dividends. Real spit. And another thing to consider is that, the 7th house, this shows your relationship with the public. So as long as Mercury ain't afflicted with this one, this one right here says that working in the public arena of life could actually really be beneficial for these people. So yeah, but let me also say that the 7th house speaks to our partnerships, which we all knew we was going to get to this. Okay. Our relationships and any planets here, and the sign of the curse, they can reveal a lot of information about the kind of partnerships that we attract or the type of people that we attract and the type of people that we're attracted to as well. And, as I was kind of alluding to earlier, man, with Mercury here, these people right here want to link up with somebody intelligent because establishing an intellectual connection, this is going to be of the utmost importance, way more to them than any physical bullshit. Yeah. This is conversation rules the nation right here, man. And, communication is going to be essential for them in their interpersonal relationships or they'll get bored real motherfucking fast. They need somebody that they can talk to and chop it up with. Okay. And, these right here, these are what are referred to as sapiosexuals. And to them, a sharp intellect is much sexier than a pretty face. Okay. Nah. With Mercury in the 7th, their significant other has to be somebody that's highly intelligent, eloquent, and yeah, sophisticated. Okay. Real talk, man. Now, also remember that, Mercury, it governs our youth right here. Okay. And so with this right here, with Mercury in the 7th, it could be said that these people right here, they could have got married when they were really young. Okay. Or it could also mean that they marry somebody that's significantly younger than they are. But either way it goes, whoever they end up with, they better be a good conversationalist. A good conversationalist. Guess I'm not. But yeah, they better be a good conversationalist if they want that shit to work in the slightest bit. And moving on from that, this right here, man. let me say that if Mercury is afflicted right here in this 7th house, these are typically going to be really cooperative people to deal with too, either way. But, they don't have any stick-to-itiveness in them. They don't have any way of, sticking to something. They're always changing their mind right here, man. You know what I'm saying? And that could be a mug. And as long as it ain't afflicted, these are going to be really cooperative people to deal with any other time because they have such amazing sense of tact. Like they have a sense of tact that's out of this world. And they're so willing to make compromises that it helps them out. You know what I'm saying? That's awesome. Okay. That makes negotiations always end up actually working in their favor. Plus, if push comes to shove, they know how to say some shit and how to make some shit happen that, will kill a conflict because they know how to make it look like everybody benefited in the situation. Okay. Yeah. They know how to smooth some shit over. Okay. This is somebody that specializes in whispering those sweet nothings. Best believe. And, as I was kind of saying a minute ago, man, this is usually a really good placement for somebody that's working with the public too, like a PR guy or a civil lawyer or some shit like that, man. Even stuff in psychology or counseling might be something good for them because they're really all about helping people and they can work with people on a one-to-one basis too. And lastly, understand that the 7th ain't just about our romantic partnerships. No. You know what I'm saying? It's also about business partnerships too. So whether it be a business partnership or a marriage, this one says that it could be a Gemini or Virgo, moon, sun, or rising. You know what I'm saying? That could really, be something that they work out best with, man. Or they could just work better with somebody that has a quick mercurial nature. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure that, what's best for you, is best for everybody. Okay. And also understand that what's good to you ain't necessarily good for you. Always remember that in the 7th house. What's good to you ain't necessarily good for you. I ain't gonna say it again. And it really don't matter because even if it don't play out like that, just because you built like that, you don't have to build like that. Okay. And what I mean by that is we all have this energy available to us. What you do with it is what you do with it. And even beyond that, it's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. And that's some priceless knowledge in itself. And there's been some priceless knowledge of self. Okay. Hey, if y'all fool with me on any level, hit that like button right now. Okay. Hit that like button. If you don't fool with me, hit the dislike button. It's okay. I'll be back. Hey, I appreciate all the love and support, man. If y'all are interested in astrological readings whatsoever, you can either hit me up in the comments below or you can email me at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. I appreciate all the love and support. Y'all keep it gangster. That's all I know how to do. One love. I'm out.